What did you get distracted by?
Segue in? There we go. Yeah, Olli Olli World is scratching a particular itch of mine that is basically, it's not a 2D platformer, but if you think like a 2D platformer where you die a lot until you do the thing that you need to do, it's basically that, but with skateboarding and Pendleton Ward's Adventure Time as its graphical presentation. And I didn't realize this was a thing that I needed or wanted, but now I have it, and I'm so glad it's here. I enjoyed the original Olli Olli and Olli Olli 2. God bless that original Olli Olli on the PS Vita. I had a great time with it, but it was a frustrating game. It was a very difficult game. And Olli Olli World clearly takes that into account. And so, the way it works is you have an overworld that's made up of about 5 or 6 biomes. I'm on like the 4th area at the moment. And you have about, I say, 15 to 20 levels within each world, and each level has a bunch of objectives or quests. One of them is just complete the track. Then there'll be the one underneath, which is complete the track without bailing once. Then there's 3 objective side quests that very much are like the strawberry from Celeste, where these are optional. You don't have to do these, but if you want that extra challenge, it'll be like pop the 5 inflatable cats that are around the level, or when you're going over a particular half pipe, do a particular trick that it wants you to do. And they just, add a little bit of variety, and they bring you back to doing the level a couple of times till you fulfill all of that criteria. And then there's like 3 high scores to beat, and then there's the global leaderboards as well, and your friends' leaderboards if you're playing, and other people playing it as well. And all of that is fun, fine, clean, works. No issues there. That's all good. The actual levels, they're pretty healthy in terms of like the way that they're stacked out and what it wants you to do. And once you get into the groove of learning all of the tricks, because it doesn't just bombard you with like, hey, here's how you do flip tricks, grabs, grinds. It evenly paces them out. So if you kind of start fucking around, you can still do some of the stuff. Like, it doesn't lock those techniques away. Like, I don't think it's even to like the second world where it introduces manuals, but I just accidentally figured out how to do manuals. So I started chaining combos together, just because it makes those levels far more enjoyable. Like, kind of in a way when you play Tony Hawk's, where you might not actively need to chain a combo together, but your muscle memory takes over, and it's like, if I do a flip trick, I just want to go into a manual because that's just what I do. Like, I go into a manual, I go into a grind, I flip trick off a ramp or whatever, come back down, manual, and carry on. That's just how I play a Tony Hawk's game, and it's kind of a similar thing with this as well. And it invites you to play like that because, the problem with Olli Olli, from what I remember, is that part of the difficulty is it didn't have checkpoints, and some of the levels could get fairly lengthy. But here, most levels have like 1 or 2 checkpoints, so, if you're struggling particularly with like the last area, you can just repeat that over and over again, because sometimes you'll have to jump off of like one rail onto another rail, and the distance seems quite long, and it's not so much about how you jump in off the rail, it's actually about where you land on the rail to give yourself the momentum. So you'll kind of recycle that bit a couple of times to learn that line, to then go and attempt to do like the whole track again. And yeah, I think that this game it's smooth as hell. I've posted a bunch of clips during the week, and it's one of those games where, like a Tetris, where you just get into like a zen-like state where you forget everything else around you, and you're not even thinking about what you're doing. Everything kind of makes sense, and when you hit like a particular line, it's really satisfying. I really like this game, and again, the Adventure Time style presentation of it, it's just a really pleasant game to look at and play. It's really cool.
I played it for like 15 minutes.
Were they 15 good minutes?
It didn't really hook me, so I stopped playing it after 15 minutes.
Aww.
Disregard everything Mark just said.
Oh no. I'm so sad.
Trashed.
Can we now refer to like a quarter of an hour as exclusively as the Garrett method? Every time I do something that takes 15 minutes.
I can't wait till Mark uses the gimmick as a troll and just starts doing the Garrett method for like sprawling RPGs that you're not even out of the first cutscene. You're like, well, goodbye.
Yeah. So I played 15 minutes of Final Fantasy IX. Here are my thoughts.
Let me tell you about my experience with Metal Gear Solid 4.
I mean, I'll probably do it with Earthbound when I get around to trying that out.